What's up, fellow gardeners? Coming at you from Southwest Florida the day after Helene passed through. Now down here we did not get a direct hit from the storm. We were hundreds of miles away from the eye, but this was a huge storm that had a 500-mile wide tropical storm force wind field, and we felt the tropical storm force winds all day yesterday, more than 12 hours of sustained tropical storm force winds here. And unfortunately, the lots that were directly to the south of our house that used to be full of trees have been cleared recently, so we had no windbreak to our south. So that's the southern exposure of our house out there, so no more windbreak. It's just flat, wide open, and people build houses down here and don't plant trees after they cut down all the trees, which is terrible for the environment. It's also terrible for everybody. Anyway, so here's some of our damage. Even though we didn't get a direct hit, we lost a lot of our fruit trees. So this is one of our fruiting bananas that was a couple months away from having ripe fruit, got snapped in half. Yeah, I had somebody comment on one of my videos a couple weeks ago saying, I don't like all the negativity here. You gotta look at the positive and how great things are. Well, this is why I'm the pessimistic gardener. Because anytime things start going well, which they were with our bananas, we finally got to the point where we were going to be able to grow all of our own bananas. We had at least one banana plant fruiting every single month. So we were going to start to be able to eat our own bananas every day, all year round. And then this happened. I was feeling optimistic. I was thinking, wow, our yard's doing so great. We're not going to have to buy bananas ever again. We're going to be able to grow all of our own fruit and reduce our fossil footprint. And then this happens every time. Every time I start feeling optimistic like that, literally every single time, we either get a freak hard freeze or a freak storm come through. So, yep. So there's one of our bananas that's down. So that's why I'm the pessimistic gardener, guys, because every time I do have a moment of optimism, a tiny little moment, where secretly inside my head I'm thinking, wow, we're growing a great amount of food, we're doing a great job, Mother Nature comes and slaps the optimism right out of me. So, hence pessimistic gardener. Here's one of our chias that's just windswept. We already had a few chia completely snapped that I've already cleaned up. This was our big banana area, our big patch of bananas that was doing great. We had one fruiting, probably two about to produce fruit, and you can see that big one that's snapped over the fence right there. We're gonna have to go into our neighbor's yard to get it. It took another one out with it, so two snapped. The other one's really bent. I don't know if they'll recover. That one was just about to bloom. It was like days away from blooming, and now it's snapped. So that sucks. This was our little trellis vine shade tunnel that everybody who visited our yard, they loved it. They loved walking under our little vine tunnel, and we had a chia plant there that you can see is now in half. It snapped and took out this whole tunnel. So we're gonna have to take this apart and figure out what to do for that poor vine there, but no more little vine tunnel. And it took out those bananas when it fell and some of those chia. I'm not worried about the chia, you guys. I'm really not sad about the chia. I am sad about what it takes out when it goes. Here's a mess where it looks like one of our native wild sumacs snapped. They're always doing that. They're pretty weak, and it took out a bunch of vines with it, so that's going to be a whole tangled mess. And a cassava. That'll be a tangled mess to deal with later. That chia snapped, not a big deal. These two fruiting bananas. These ones were about ready, so I might be able to cut them down and put them inside, and they might ripen. Those ones were quite a ways away from ripening. Maybe we can prop that tree up. But this guy, we'll just have to cut the bananas off and hope we can ripen them inside. And this is the one that really had me upset. Every time this papaya starts doing well, all the other papaya plants in the yard are ones that I started from seed. They're like 4 or 5 generations of my own papayas, but this one I actually bought the plant because it was supposed to be a dwarf variety that fruit's pretty low, but it had actually gotten pretty tall here, and it had 4 different I don't know, trunks, 4 different trunks producing fruit, and the 2 that had the most, like that guy there and this guy here, just snapped right off right when they were full of fruit. And that happens every time. Every time that it's about to fruit nicely, we get a storm So this fruit was really good size. I'll take a couple of the big ones in, see if I can ripen them. I don't know if they were close enough. And I know a lot of people are going to say, you can do stuff with green papayas, but you can only eat so much green papaya. And to be honest, I get tired of it after like one time of having green papaya slaw or whatever else. So anyway, if somebody else wants green papaya, let me know. And then here's just all these leaves that go blown down. This is our chaya windbreak / privacy hedge that really got pushed over by those southern winds. It's at the south of our house again, where the windbreak we had from neighboring lots was bulldozed in the last couple of years. So there's no trees to the south of us now because people don't appreciate trees. They rather just have a yard with nothing but grass, like that house there. Disgusting. Anyway, that papaya survived, but it's getting leaned on by all those chaya now. But yeah, so all these leaves got blown here. I had some little carrot seedlings that were sprouting and growing really nicely. They got smashed down by chaya leaves. I'm not sure how many will survive, so that sucks. And anyway, that's also why I hadn't planted my veggie garden yet, because until like late October, we've got a good chance of getting more storms. So I try not to actually plant any veggie crops, even though maybe the weather might be okay for that in terms of temperatures, but no. Not with our risk of hurricanes. More chaya debris just everywhere. It's fine, it'll be a nice mulch. And again, I'm not worried about the chaya. It's gonna grow back fast. Our native fire bush that we have here for the pollinators, and also it creates a nice block because the idiot builder who built this house decided the master bathroom shower should have a giant window facing the street where everyone can see. So that's our master bathroom window where we shower. We planted this fire bush there for some cover, but the leaves are gone after the storm. Surprisingly, the coconuts stayed on the coconut palm, and I was actually concerned about those, but they stayed up there. Lost some babies though. Some baby coconuts are gone. These are wild trails in the yard, and yeah, they got tossed around, so there should be a trail there. We'll have to clear that. We'll have to clear these trails back out after the storm. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Wanted to check on my mango tree because I heard other people say theirs got snapped. Our mango tree is good. Okay, that's good. I was worried about this guy because it produced very nicely this year. Over here, these bananas survived, but they're still young. They're still a ways away from fruiting. These chaya got snapped, of course. That banana did well. That chaya did all right. Got some plants down back here, but this area survived well because we have an excellent neighbor next door who also plants lots of trees, lots of fruit trees. So together, our fruit trees and his made a nice windbreak and kept each other safe. So good to have neighbors like him that appreciate and plant lots of trees. So thanks to having dense trees here, our plants were safe. Oh, look, he's got some avocados on his tree. Good. Good to see. And then we have this mango tree that lost a lot of leaves. It's not very healthy or happy anyway. It's been mostly somewhere where I've been hanging orchids, but this mango tree has been through 2 hurricanes, multiple tropical storms, many freezes, and it's never even bloomed because it's been through so much, and it was started from seed. So honestly, that one, it's probably on its way out. It's probably not going to survive much longer because it's been through so much. It's been pushed over by so many storms, and again, it's got even a little more lean to it today, but it's never fruited, so that's okay. Our black sapote there, that was fruiting for the first time this year. I'm sure its fruit is on the ground somewhere. It's one first fruit. It is quite pushed over, and the fire bush that it was friends with is now naked. Poor naked fire bush. But this mango looks good. Anyway, all in all, not too bad. Of course, I am very grateful that we did not get a direct hit, but there's still more storms cooking out there. Our time can come. I hope not. I hope not. We got Ann 2 years before, and we got Hurricane Irma 7 years ago. We don't need another hit. Our food forest has been flattened enough times. I am glad, though, that as much damage as we have to our bananas and papayas, that we don't have more damage, because Ann and Irma both completely flattened our food forest, and we had to start from scratch both of those times. So we do have a lot of cleanup, especially of the chaya and the bananas, but not as bad as it is for people who got a direct hit, not as bad as it could be, but I really, really hope we still continue to dodge a bullet. But yeah, storms suck, and there's no guarantee wherever you live that you're not going to suffer some kind of environmental disaster in your garden, because anywhere you live there's something. There's hurricanes or blizzards or tornadoes or derechos or wildfires, landslides, earthquakes. Wherever you live there's something. There's some kind of extreme natural disaster that can hit you, and it's not your fault for living in the wrong place like people like to try to make it. It's just bad luck. And if you see somebody who has suffered something like that, don't resort to victim blaming like so many people do. Just tell them, hey, that really sucks. I'm sorry you experienced that. How can I help? Don't try to blame them. Don't try to say like, well, if you lived somewhere else. Don't do that. People do that. It's rude. It's callous. It's not an appropriate way to be a human being and relate to other humans. So just know that any one of us at any time can be subject to some kind of natural disaster. No matter how good of a gardener you are or a farmer, shit happens to all of us. No one is immune. And that's why farmers, who is their full-time job to grow food for all of us to eat, they have farm insurance. They do. They pay for farm insurance because they know at any time their entire farm can be wiped out by a freak natural disaster. And those are getting more and more common, more and more frequent. And it's not their fault when it happens, just like it's not my fault. Like people are trying to blame me right now. Oh, you planted your bananas and papayas in the right place. If you had planted them somewhere else or differently, they'd be fine. No, it's a freak disaster. Don't victim blame. And know that anytime it can happen to you. So just realize things can go really well for your garden and they can go really crap for your garden. And it's not your fault. So, you know, keep experimenting, keep trying, but it's also okay sometimes to go, wow, this really sucks. It is okay to admit that sometimes things suck. This sucks big time that I lost all these papayas right when I was making plans for what to do with them. I lost them. I do still have some papaya trees, like you just saw back there, that still have some fruit on them, but this was the best tasting fruit, the most productive, but shit happens, and it happened, and fingers crossed that we're not going to get another storm this season and not going to get a freeze, but we'll see. Fingers crossed that our veggie season will go better than our fruit season has, but we'll see. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys our minimal tropical storm damage and just give you a message about gardening and natural disasters and how to respond to people who experience them. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a better day than me.